Good evening. You're watching the news at 6 with me, Ishan Russell. The news at 6 is all about the day's biggest developing stories, and we'll be filling in on them over the next half hour. But first, the headlines that we're tracking right now. Rajya Sabha paralysed as Congress and BSP protest alleged atrocities against Dalit youth. Government maintains that state issues can't be used up to hold up proceedings. Amid disruptions in both houses, External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj makes statement on her recent visit to Pakistan, says India will engage in a comprehensive dialogue on all issues with Pakistan. Parliamentary Affairs Minister Venkaiah Naidu and Finance Minister Arun Jaitley meet Congress leaders Anand Sharma and Ghulam Nabi Azad on the GST bill. The meeting remains inconclusive. Prime Minister Narendra Modi starts two-day visit to Kerala. Congress and opposition parties protest against Kerala Chief Minister Oommen Chandy not being invited to statue unveiling function. And tensions increase between Russia and Turkey. Russia says its warships had to fire a Turkish boat to avoid collision. The top story this evening, Rajya Sabha proceedings were paralysed as the Congress and BSP members protested against the Shiromani Akali Dal BJP government in Punjab over alleged atrocities against Dalit youths in the state. Both parties pressed for the immediate dismissal of the Punjab government. The government, however, sought to downplay the allegations and maintained that state issues cannot be discussed in the House. Their uproar led to a series of adjournments.
Rajya Sabha on Monday saw the Congress and the BSP upping the ante against the BJP and its alliance partner in Punjab, Akali Dal, over the alleged anti-Dalit activities in the state. Leader of opposition Ghulam Nabi Azad demanded the dismissal of the Punjab government. BSP leader Mayawati also launched a sharp attack on the Punjab government and demanded the centre's intervention.
पंजाब में जो कोalition गवर्नमेंट है अकाली दल की और बीजेपी ये आतंकवाद से भी बदतर है ड्रग माफिया की सरकार है ये शराब माफिया की सरकार है कोई लॉ एंड ऑर्डर पंजाब में नहीं है
मामला अति गंभीर है इस मामले को सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट को गंभीरता से लेना चाहिए वहां की सरकार को बर्खास्त करना चाहिए
Minister of State for Parliamentary Affairs Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi condemned all incidents of atrocities against Dalits. He also urged the state government to take stern action against the culprits.
इस तरह की दरिंदगी को किसी भी रूप में जस्टिफाई नहीं ठहराया जा सकता। जो भी गुनाहगार हैं उनके खिलाफ कड़े से कड़ी कार्रवाई होनी चाहिए। ये हम राज्य सरकार से भी अपील करेंगे और कोई भी गुनाहगार इसमें बचना नहीं चाहिए।
But unrelenting Congress and BSP members marched into the well of the House as proceedings were disrupted. The protests evoked a sharp response from the Deputy Chairman.
I am requesting the slogan shouting members to go back their seat. Your action is undemocratic.
Repeated pleas by Chairman Mohammad Hamid Ansari to allow question hour to function also went unheeded. The House witnessed several adjournments through the day.
Please go back to your places. You have no locus standing in the well, none whatsoever.
The incident referred to by the opposition happened on Saturday in Abohar in Punjab. Limbs of two men were chopped off at a farmhouse allegedly owned by an Akali Dal leader. An FIR has been filed against 11 people, including the Akali Dal leader Shivlal Doda and his nephew. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And Congress protests drowned out External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj's statement on her visit to Pakistan in the Rajya Sabha. As soon as she stood up to read out a statement, Congress members trooped to the chairman's podium with anti-government slogans. Swaraj, however, read out the whole statement despite the sloganeering. Sounding upset, Deputy Chairman PJ Kurian told the protesters that it was the most undemocratic and that a few members were holding the House to ransom. He also briefly adjourned the House, but the scene was no different when it met again. And let's go across to our correspondent Vishal there, who's been tracking all the proceedings in the upper house. Vishal, another chaotic day in the Rajya Sabha, but it seems that the impasse is just not ending anytime soon.
Well, yes, there are no indications as of now. In fact, if you look at the major issue of confrontation between the government and the opposition, then the government is alleging, and it was pretty much said by the leader of the House in the upper house in his blog just a short while ago as well, that the issues keep on changing. The opposition, specifically the Congress, has responded to that, saying that it is not up to us. If the government keeps on giving us issues to go ahead and protest inside the parliament, then the opposition can't help it. So clearly an indication that there is going to be no let up in the opposition stand. The issues might change. For example, today we saw an entirely different issue. That incident which happened in Punjab over the weekend dominated the proceedings throughout the day. And there are several other issues as well on which the Congress has been protesting in the last week. And the BSP had also joined them along with the TMC, though not in the well. But given the fact that, this kind of sort of closing of ranks between several opposition parties on one issue or the other is leading to these disruptions, it is highly unlikely that there might be a breakthrough in next 24 hours or so. But there is another development, Ishan, and that is with respect to the GST. There was a meeting between the government and the opposition, and though there is no, once again, no positive signals from the Congress specifically on the issue of GST. But one thing which has been clearly stated out by Congress leaders is that this dialogue between the government and the opposition, and specifically between the government and the main opposition party, Congress, cannot be restricted to just one bill.
All right, Vishal, talking about opposition unity, now the BJP's strategy was, of course, to isolate the Congress. That really has not happened. The Congress has managed to rally other opposition parties around it by raising a host of issues. So, in a sense, a united opposition really proving to be a headache for the government as far as its legislative business is concerned. And what is the opposition saying about it being viewed as obstructionist?
Well, call it circumstantial, Ishan, because last week we saw, the Congress party dominating that protest inside the upper house on the issue of allegations being leveled against the chief ministers of BJP-ruled states and several controversial statements. Though there was a perception that it was on the issue of National Herald, but then the Congress clarified later on that the protest has nothing to do with the National Herald issue. But starting this week, starting today itself, the Congress seemed to have taken a step back, let the other opposition parties, the smaller opposition parties, take the center stage. That's what happened on the issue of Punjab, the state which is going to be election bound in just a few months. The other opposition party, BSP, their members were seen, standing shoulder to shoulder with the Congress leaders. And then there are other issues as well. Last week we saw Congress getting tacit support from the TMC, and there are other opposition parties as well, which though they are not marching into the well, but then outside the house they are giving those statements supporting the Congress, supporting the stand which has been taken inside the house. So obviously that ploy, or rather that strategy of the government doesn't seem to have been working as of now. What remains to be seen in the next 1 or 2 days is whether or not the government can try and bring around the Congress on the issue of GST bill and other parties as well. And can there be a common ground on the GST so the House can function smoothly and at least one particular bill can be cleared? All right, Vishal, we'll leave it over there. Vishal will, of course, keep track of the developments as they happen inside Parliament for us. But meanwhile, as Vishal was informing us, Parliamentary Affairs Minister M. Venkaiah Naidu and Finance Minister Arun Jaitley met top Congress leaders Anand Sharma and Ghulam Nabi Azad to discuss the passage of the GST bill in the upper house. The meeting remained inconclusive. With just 8 working days left, time is running out for the bill in the winter session of Parliament. And External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj also gave a statement in the Lok Sabha on her visit to Pakistan. She informed the House that issues of mutual importance were discussed and India also put forward its concerns. But the opposition questioned the minister over what had changed in Pakistan's stance that the bilateral dialogue was resumed.
In a statement on her Pakistan visit in Lok Sabha, External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj informed the House that she had asked authorities there to speed up the legal proceedings in the 2611 case. In her meeting with Pak PM Nawaz Sharif, Sushma Swaraj condemned terrorism and the two sides agreed to work together to eliminate the menace. The minister also expressed hope that the next round of talks would help bring peace and development to the region.
साथ ही हमारी सरकार पाकिस्तान सहित अपने सभी पड़ोसी देशों के साथ शांतिपूर्ण एवं सहयोगात्मक संबंधों के प्रति वचनबद्ध है, ताकि दक्षिण एशिया में शांति और विकास के लिए जो प्रयास इस सरकार ने अपना कार्यभार संभालने के समय शुरू किए थे, उन्हें आगे बढ़ाया जा सके। पाकिस्तान के साथ इस नवीन वार्ता के दो उद्देश्य हैं। पहला, चिंता के विषयों पर रचनात्मक बातचीत के जरिए समस्याओं का निराकरण करना और साथ ही सहयोगात्मक संबंधों को स्थापित करना तथा इस दिशा में नए मार्ग तलाशना।
Leaders of the opposition wanted to know what change in Pakistan's outlook had prompted the government to resume dialogue.
What has happened in this? Have the border infiltrations reduced? Pakistani intelligence activities reduced, or the firing on the border reduced, so that suddenly from September to December we have a flip-flop.
हम इतने तेज रफ्तार से 15 दिन के अंदर 10 दिन के अंदर ये जो चाय हुआ, ये ठीक है कि बैक चलता रहता है, वो काम करना पड़ता है, लेकिन आप जनता को साथ में नहीं ले।
And after the Paris summit, that we have become so confident that yes, things can progress. Perpetrators of crime who have done grievous, heinous crime in this country, who were exported from Pakistan, who repeatedly shed blood on our borders.
Okay.
Has anything concrete has happened after that meeting that occurred in Bangkok? We would like to understand.
क्या सुषमा जी ने जो जम्मू कश्मीर में वाजपेयी जी के टाइम में एक स्पेड वर्क हुआ था मुजफ्फराबाद रोड खुलने का, उसके बाद यूपीए सरकार में खुला, उसमें भी आइटम्स पे रिस्ट्रिक्शन है। दूसरा, कम्युनिकेशन कोई नहीं पाकिस्तान से, जितनी आप फोन करना चाहो कश्मीर कर सकते हो, यहाँ से फोन नहीं कर सकते, बैंकिंग फैसिलिटी नहीं है, उसको हम आगे नहीं बढ़ा सके। तो मेरा ये है कि क्या इस बारे में कोई बात हुई या होने वाली है?
Sushma Swaraj assured the House that India's security was the government's topmost priority. Sushma had visited Pakistan last week for the Heart of Asia conference. She also had meetings with her Pak counterpart Sartaj Aziz and Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif. Pranav Goswami's report for Rajya Sabha Television.
Now, Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi was on the offensive today, leading a protest outside Parliament House. He said he was demonstrating against what he called the BJP government's objectionable actions.
Rahul Gandhi on the offensive, airing one grievance after the other outside Parliament. Targeting the government, he claimed that RSS workers stopped him from entering a temple in Barpeta, Assam.
I wanted to visit a temple. And at the temple, the RSS people, they stopped me from entering the temple. This is the way the BJP operates.
Rahul said he visited the temple later in the evening after the RSS workers left the place. Asking the BJP to change its style of functioning, the Congress Vice President referred Punjab, where he claimed innocent people were being butchered.
You're all aware of what has happened in Punjab. Innocent people have been butchered. This is completely out of order, out of line.
Various BJP leaders and allies countered Rahul's claims.
ये गलत बात है। सरकार उनकी है और उनकी सरकार रहते हुए अगर वो आरोप लगा रहे हैं तो उनकी सरकार क्या कर रही थी वहाँ? उनको विचार करना चाहिए कि उनकी सरकार की क्षमता क्या है वहाँ।
अनंत कहानियों की एक सीरीज प्रारंभ हो गई है। शैलजा जी ने जिस प्रकार पहले कहा, ये शैलजा पार्ट 2 लगता है मुझे। राहुल गांधी जैसे उच्च पद पर बैठे हुए व्यक्ति के द्वारा इस प्रकार हास्यास्पद बयान देना, जो इतनी सुरक्षा में चलते हैं, जहां आसाम में उनकी सरकार हो वहां उनको कोई घुसने नहीं दे, इससे बड़ी मजाक की और क्या बात हो सकती है।
A belligerent Aam Aadmi Party also countered Rahul over his criticism of the demolition drive that allegedly left an infant dead in Delhi. The party pointed out that the drive was carried out by the railways. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi started his 2-day visit to Kerala amid a huge political controversy over Kerala Chief Minister Oommen Chandy not being invited to a function of the Irava community. Congress and other opposition parties raised the issue in both houses, calling it an insult to Chandy.
A political storm has erupted over Prime Minister Narendra Modi's maiden visit to Kerala, with the state's Chief Minister Oommen Chandy not being invited for the Prime Minister's events on Tuesday. The Congress has taken exception to this, accusing the government of using the Prime Minister's constitutional position for political vendetta. In Lok Sabha too, Congress members were on the offensive as they called this an attack on the country's federal structure.
The Prime Minister of this country has insulted the people of Kerala. He has stopped our Chief Minister from going to a function. The Chief Minister of Kerala represents the people of Kerala. The Chief Minister of Kerala is the voice of the people of Kerala. And the Prime Minister has insulted that voice. This is simply not acceptable to us.
PMO had sent the final program. Here, Dash plan. No place for the Chief Minister of Kerala, madam. No place for the Chief Minister of Kerala. Then it is very clear that who is behind it. This is very clear that who is behind for expelling the Chief Minister from this function. It is very clear that PMO and the Honorable Prime Minister's hand is in this.
The government dismissed the charges outright. Home Minister Rajnath Singh said the decision on the invitation to Chandi was taken by SNDP, a social organization, due to an internal row.
It is a case of insult to the people of Kerala. यह बात वेणुगोपाल जी ने कही है और मैं कहना चाहता हूं कि यह आरोप पूरी तरह से बेबुनियाद है, यह आरोप पूरी तरह से निराधार है। वह ऑर्गेनाइजेशन किसको आमंत्रित करता है, किसको नहीं आमंत्रित करता है, यह पूरी तरह से फैसला लेने का अधिकार यदि किसी का है तो उस सोशल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन एसएनडीपी का है, उससे प्रधानमंत्री जी का अथवा किसी का कोई लेना देना नहीं है।
Oommen Chandy himself called it a violation of protocol, but he did give a ceremonial welcome to the Prime Minister in Kochi. The Prime Minister will unveil the statue of former Chief Minister of Kerala R. Shankar in Kollam on Tuesday. With inputs from Pranav Goswami, Bureau Report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Time for us to take a quick break. Lots more on the other side. Do stay tuned.
Celebrations in Paris. The world gets a climate accord. But does the Paris Pact go far enough? How will it help planet Earth? Watch the big picture at 6:30 p.m. on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back. You're watching the news at 6. And now President Pranab Mukherjee on Monday called for respect for the rights and sensitivities of minorities. Delivering the Indira Gandhi Memorial Lecture on National Integration of the Asiatic Society in Kolkata, he said we should eliminate the forces that divide society. The President laid emphasis on awareness about past mistakes that triggered inequality in the country. Mukherjee also requested citizens to rise above caste and communal loyalties and underscored the need to cultivate a secular and democratic outlook in the national narrative.
National integration is essential for the idea of India to grow. With India emerging as an influential player in the international arena, the problems of our nation with a population of 1.28 billion can be successfully handled if we think together, work together and grow together.
Now, political blame game raged on over the demolition drive at the Shakur Basti slum cluster in Delhi. The railways that conducted the drive, however, claimed the encroachments were a safety hazard. Railway Minister Suresh Prabhu clarified the issue in the Lok Sabha.
The Delhi High Court has pulled up the Railway Ministry over the demolition of hundreds of homes in a slum cluster in West Delhi on Sunday. A 6-month-old baby allegedly died during the demolition. In a clarification in Lok Sabha, Railway Minister Suresh Prabhu defended the drive, saying his ministry had just followed an NGT order.
The encroachment on 12/12/2015 were removed when Delhi police gave go-ahead at 11:50 hours and the whole exercise was completely peaceful without coercion. There was no midnight operation as reported. The child alleged to have died during the encroachment removal drive had expired much before the encroachment removal had commenced, as confirmed by the Delhi police.
Meanwhile, members of AAP and Trinamool Congress protested outside Parliament against the demolition. Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi visited the Shakur Basti area where thousands of people have been left homeless. Rahul Gandhi also put part of the blame on the Chief Minister of Delhi.
मोदी सरकार ने वादा किया था जहां झुग्गी वहां मकान। मकान तो बने नहीं, लेकिन झुग्गियां गिराने का काम जो है उन्होंने शुरू कर दिया।
जहाँ भी झुग्गी तोड़ी जा रही है वहाँ राहुल गांधी को जैसे तोड़ना शुरू होगा, राहुल गांधी को वहाँ बुलाओ, मैं नहीं तोड़ने दूंगा।
But the chief minister hit back with a strong retort, saying Rahul Gandhi was a kid for not knowing how central and state agencies functioned. AAP alleges that no warning was given to the people before some 1,000 homes were razed to the ground.
और बोले मैंने ऑफिसर्स को क्लियरली बोला था जब मनीष सिसोदिया आए थे दिल्ली के रेलवे ऑफिसर्स को कि दिल्ली की चुनी हुई सरकार के को साथ लिए बिना कोई झुग्गी नहीं तोड़ी जाएगी। बोले मैं भी आश्चर्यचकित हूँ, कल मैं दिल्ली के जीएम को बुला के तलब करके उससे पूछूंगा कि ये झुग्गियां क्यों तोड़ी गई है।
Railway Minister Suresh Prabhu, however, said that the residents had been given repeated warnings. The Delhi police have lodged a case and investigations are underway. With inputs from Anu Devan and Pranav Goswami, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Let's now have a look at other national news stories in Nationwide. Deported Ulfa leader Anup Chetia sought forgiveness from the people of Assam for his past mistakes. He said he was ready for peace talks. Gola Barua alias Chetia was extradited on the 11th of November. He faces charges of murder, kidnapping and extortion. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Jayalalitha urged Prime Minister Modi to sanction a special scheme to build 50,000 houses as part of restoration in rain-hit areas of Chennai. The project is likely to cost 5,000 crore rupees. The centre asked the Delhi High Court to extend the observation home stay of the juvenile convict in the December 16, 2012 gang rape case. The juvenile is scheduled to be released on Sunday. The centre stated that several mandatory aspects are missing from the post-release rehabilitation plan. The rupee fell to a two-year low of 67.13 per dollar amid risk aversion in emerging markets assets ahead of the US Fed meet later this week. This is the lowest value of the rupee since 4th September 2013. The rupee had closed lower for 7 out of the 9 previous trading sessions this month, making it the worst performing emerging Asia currency. Some international news now, and tensions in Russia-Turkey relations escalated today after a Russian warship fired warning shots at a Turkish vessel in the sea. The incident is the latest in a series of Russian-Turkish confrontations that have grown worse since Turkey shot down a Russian jet that was allegedly in their airspace. More.
Turkey-Russia relations nosediving further on Monday. Russia claimed its warship had to fire warning shots at a Turkish fishing boat in the Aegean Sea to avoid collision. The captain of the Turkish boat said he was unaware his vessel was shot at. The Turkish military attaché in Moscow was summoned, while Turkey warned Russia not to push its patience.
Rusya ile şu anda uçağın düşürülmesinden sonra yaşadığımız süreçte her fırsatı tabii Rusya değerlendirmek istiyor. Biz öyle değiliz ama. Bir sorun var, spesifik bir sorun ve bunu Rusya'nın aleyhine her...
The incident comes on the heel of another naval complaint earlier this month. Turkey scolded the Russian ambassador after photographs surfaced of what appeared to be a Russian serviceman posing with a rocket launcher in Turkish waters. Relations between the two soured over their differing goals in Syria. They escalated sharply in November when Turkish forces shot down a Russian fighter jet near the Syrian border. Russia retaliated by imposing economic sanctions on Turkey.
Bugüne kadar çok iyi siyasi ilişkilerimizin olduğu ve en önemli ticaret ortağımız olan Rusya'ya itidal çağrısında bulunuyoruz. Ama şunu da söylüyoruz, bizim de sabrımız sınırsız değildir. Bugüne kadar yaptıklarınıza
With the recent offensive from Moscow, there seems to be little chance of cooler heads prevailing. Both President Erdogan and Putin are seen as strong nationalist autocrats, and with both unwilling to back down or lose face, experts say the crisis is unlikely to see any resolution in a hurry. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Now, over 7 lakh people were evacuated as Typhoon Mela made landfall in central Philippines today. 20 provinces remain under public storm alert. 40 domestic flights were grounded. Philippines Weather Department said that the storm strengthened to the equivalent of a Category 4 hurricane.
Typhoon Melor made landfall in Philippines. Expecting heavy rainfall, landslides and winds up to 215 kilometers per hour. Over 7 lakh people have been evacuated. The US military's Typhoon Warning Center ranked the typhoon as Category 4 hurricane and issued a red alert.
Masyado po tayong nagpe-prepare para sa ating Kapaskuhan, pero sana po ay mag-prepare tayo dito po sa bagyo na tumatawid nga po ngayon sa Bicol area.
Nearly 8,000 people remain stranded. Flights are grounded while schools remained closed. Philippines weather officials said typhoon's impact will not be as widespread and could help regions suffering dry spells.
Ingat po lang tayo dahil dito po sa dalang bagyo. Isang bagay lang po na benepisyo na maaaring idulot sa atin itong bagyo na sinona ay yung dala niyang tubig doon sa mga tigang na lupa dahil meron po tayong El Nino na
Typhoon Melor is taking a path similar to Typhoon Haiyan, the Category 5 typhoon that struck central Philippines in 2013. Nearly 8,000 people were killed or left missing. The worst of Melor's wind and rain is expected to affect areas at least 100 kilometers north of Tacloban, the city devastated by Typhoon Haiyan. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
That's all from us. Goodbye.